Took a summer graduate class on him at Mankato when I was living down there.
Well, that would be kind of fun. Although maybe take all the joy out of it though sometimes too.
No, he
And this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna say the word sponge, and you guys are gonna say the first word that pops into your head. Okay? Ready? 1, 2, 3. Sponge.
Sponge.
Yellow.
Sponge. That's mine.
I command you, as King of the Britons, to stand aside. I move for no man.
Hey, can I bring Anne?
Who?
Anne. You know, she's the girl I'm kind of hanging out with.
I haven't met him.
Yes, you have.
Michael had met Anne.
When you want to talk sports, you ask folks who have seen it all up close. So on The Al Travis Show, we go with the guys at the end of the bench. Time to talk all things sports.
Oh, we'll bust down the sports. Don't worry about that. We've got them, John and Dan, in here, the guys at the end of the bench. But I think the world, now that we've gotten the whole NBA thing out of the way, is really quite concerned with John's Friday over and under prediction of how many cast members will survive Dan's play in the heat and the humidity. I believe John picked the over number at 5. We have Dan. He did survive. Still got the IV in to tell us how did things go this weekend, Dan. I hope all are well.
Nada.
No way.
Nobody went down. We had.
You must be great athletes because I watched the Twins game. These guys were curling up like little kids.
even the princess survived, huh?
Yep, and I've got she was tired. She was worn down. But yeah, nobody surprisingly. Yesterday was the hardest.
Oh, sure.
Even though Saturday night was a little bit hotter, it was the hardest because the sun was beating on us the whole time. There's some nice shade once you get into the early evening hours, but since we were an afternoon show yesterday, it was sun for most of the time, and then that wind was blowing so hard. So even when you're on, so I had a point where I've got this nice long kingly cape on, and the darn thing was like absolutely horizontal, blowing so hard. And it's like, it's not light. It was actually
the whole cast is leaning into the wind like this, not to fall over. Oh, that's horrible. John, have you ever done outdoor theater? I never have. Have you?
No, not formally. I mean, I've done some skit stuff, but never actually done a full-fledged production outdoor. I'd like to, just for the experience.
I don't know about that, Dan. You've done them both now, so would you be rather indoors and outdoors? And I throw this, I'm not trying to be mean to the outdoor guys, but to do that much work and that much prep and do all this stuff, and then an ungodly hot day comes by, and that's what, not saying ruins it, but takes the polish off. Which one do you like better, in or out?
It
Indoor
does,
outdoor?
although I struggle because I'm right in the middle of doing an outdoor show, so I don't know what I want to say live on air. Oh yeah, outdoor.
Oh, do you have another weekend? That was it? Do you have another weekend?
Yeah, we have another weekend.
Oh, then we should put this off. I thought this was a 3-day deal. Oh no, okay. Outdoors the
Don't
best.
put him on the spot, Al. Come on.
No.
I didn't understand that. Okay.
So
Dan,
Dan.
if I do have my choice, I will take the indoor. But some fun stuff can happen outdoors. It's a very different dynamic.
Was there
loosey-goosey sort of?
Was there a procedure if things really went south that somebody says, "Hey, we're not going to do this"? And who makes that call? Would the director say? I mean, what if the forecast temp was supposed to be 100 and then the heat index was 120?
Well, John and I actually know a guy who was going to play somewhere else across the Twin Cities because I saw the thing that they had canceled theirs over the weekend or postponed it, and I kept looking for yours. Who does make that call?
Between the director of the show and the board of the theater, they probably have equal input. I mean, the board is probably the stronger input, but it's of which my wife is part of. But
no wonder you got the good part.
Oh,
hey, little nepotism. Who doesn't like that? So the show goes on one more weekend. I didn't know how many
weekends starting.
And
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, yeah.
And that's going to be 10 to 15 degrees cooler. I mean, you guys are almost excited about getting to the weekend. There you go.
See, that's what I love outdoor.
Might have a thunderstorm.
It's, 75 or 80, and it's
So how do they get tickets then? It was a bad weekend. Put that behind us. What do we got going on? I didn't know.
Cross Players, all one word. Crossplayers.org.
Okay.
Tickets will be from there, and again, we run Thursday, Friday, Saturday night, and then Sunday afternoon, a matinee. to
Get your
close it out.
tickets. Fantastic. Appreciate you, Dan. We got to talk a little bit. That NBA thing got done finally. Does it seem like we've been in playoffs since, I don't know, Christmas? It just seems like forever. Thunder end up winning over the Pacers. I don't know if you could say it was done deal, but as soon as Halliburton goes down with 7 minutes, 11 seconds or something in the first quarter, didn't you kind of know when you take the best player off their squad, this is going to take one of those unbelievable things, and it didn't happen.
Well,
your thoughts, John?
You know, at the half, it was still pretty close.
They were up by one. Yeah, Pacers were up by 1.5.
And I thought, well, if the defense can do it, but they came out and pulled a timber wolf and kind of collapsed in that third quarter, and there was a big spread there, and then they never recovered. It was over after that.
Yeah.
They weren't.
Dan, your thoughts on the game?
And I don't even know if it was as much as the Pacers falling apart, although there's some of that. But I think it was just Oklahoma City just kind of said, okay, guys, enough playing around. Let's see.
Clamped down.
During halftime, they just had, there is no reason that this should be even close at this point. So let's do our thing. We have to get in and do our thing.
When he went down, I felt that Indiana sucked it up. Hey, we got to do all we can. You could almost feel an added energy that kept them in that game at half. You then sit them down for a halftime where, okay, guys, and try to keep motivated. It's tough. And then you saw the Thunder say, we're going to play it like this. They don't have him. Take the best out. Now how do we play it? I thought the whole thing was different. The other difference was, I don't know, they're up 22 or something with 9 minutes to go. And if Halliburton is in the game, it'd be one thing. But I think the Thunder learned from their losses that instead of continuing to play that fast-paced game, that fast where if you 2-3 possessions you don't score, they're back in this. They walked that ball up. They got to half court. Win, lose, or draw. You did the math. To get 22 points means they have to blank us for 9 complete minutes, and then it'll be tied. I think they figured out the math. Once you got that kind of lead, slow it down. You play that run and gun, you could lose. And so I thought the coaching was much better. My thoughts. That was mine. Sorry.
Yeah.
Crazy announcement. All right. Obviously, SGA gets the MVP, right? Am I getting that? Did I get there? Yeah. I went there.
Yeah.
There wasn't any other choice. So I think the last time this happened was with Shaq. He had the most points scored. He got the MVP and the MVP in a playoffs. It's like 25 years since that happened. Good player. I feel good about it. I'm picking OKC all the way around.
Good for Chet Holmgren, right? Hometown boy.
They put 30 pounds on him. Watch out. He's got the stickiest little arms. I mean, just little stick arm. He gets 30 pounds on him and gets in the gym and keeps going like that. He could be a dominant player for years to come. He's just
nice for him.
Absolutely. And on Indiana's side, not saying it's the best way out, but those kids know we are one injury away, that we had this thing. I don't know how long it takes Achilles to heal, but watch out for them. There are a bunch of young kids that don't know any better, that this could be us, and so I think they could be something next year.
It could be something next year.
A lot of it depends upon what kind of Achilles injury it is, because they're never short. They're never just they never just take a week, but but she'll be ready next fall.
One other quick NBA note, I don't know if you saw it, KD end up going to the Rockets, and I thought they actually got a pretty good deal for him in my book. But now the twins, Randall, Nas, and Walker, we're going to have to figure out. The big guys say we probably can afford 2 out of the 3. Put you on the spot. Which one do you let go?
Randall, Nas, and what was your...
Walker.
Walker?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, the easy choice would seem to be Walker. But
he's got the most upside in years to come.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. I think it would seem like there's no way they're just going to let either Nas or
Randall.
Randall's now. It's too late to trade him because they're free agents now, right?
Yeah.
They're officially free agents. But yeah, that's you hate to just let either Randall or Nas just walk. I mean, that's hard. Nas is probably going to have to be the default, unfortunately.
Because he's the 6th player. Boot Gobi and keep Nas. Sorry, John, your thoughts.
Well, if you're playing for now, Walker would seem to be the odd man out because you've been to the conference finals 2 years in a row, right? So you're close. So if you're going to throw away these other guys, well, throw away is the wrong term.
Yeah.
But, then you're kind of saying, well, this group of guys can't do it. We're going to take a different route. And you're putting aside everything you accomplished these last 2 years.
I'll tell you what, we got to go to break. We'll watch that because that's going to be the new conversation when it comes to basketball. We got some time to breathe. Your Minnesota Twins. I read a story. Maybe it's time to flush it all away. Get rid of all you've got and start rebuilding. Is that what these guys think? This is crushing.
They burn.
Back after this.
Achieving your financial goals requires individual planning and a comprehensive approach. At Midwest Money Management, our mission is to provide you with the knowledge, tools, and confidence to feel comfortable financially today and secure about tomorrow. Learn more at MidwestMoneyManagement.com. That's MidwestMoneyManagement.com.
Securities offered through JW Cole Financial Inc., member FINRA and SIPC. Advisory services offered through JW Cole Advisors Inc. Midwest Money Management and JW Cole Financial Inc. and JW Cole Advisors Inc. are unaffiliated entities.
All the special interests are represented in St. Paul. But who speaks for you? Center of the American Experiment does. Our policy fellows dig into the tough issues that matter to you and offer common sense solutions on education, taxes, crime, and energy. American Experiment is the trusted, nonpartisan voice of Minnesotans like you. We are working every day to make Minnesota a better, safer, more prosperous place. We are American Experiment. Go to americanexperiment.org to learn more.
As in alligator. L also in alligator. But it's not alligator. It's the Al Travis Show.
All right, we got excited about talking sports and that sort of thing with Dan and John. Real quickly, if I can take a little bit of time. Bemidji smack dabbed in the middle of all this destruction going on up there. Our friends at KKBJ Radio, if anybody needs anything, you've got our prayers, our thoughts are with you. If you need anything that you think, there's a way we could pull it off and get for you, let me know at al@altravisshow.com. We'll start talking about it this week. I don't know what that is, but if you can come up with it, it's something you need. Hey, if the radio did this, we'll help out any way we can. al@altravisshow.com. Guys, Danny Colombe, middle reliever, comes out and takes the first inning for the Twins. He gets through the three lefties, two lefties that they really wanted to him. Then Festa comes in because we got to, you can't let your starting pitcher face the guys at the top of the order. So Festa comes in, 12 hits, 8 runs in 4 2/3. we're just done, aren't we? We're just big. When you're playing games like this with your pitching staff, Dan, I'll go to you, Dan, first. How bad is it? I've never heard of that.
It's bad. I mean, I don't. Festa will be good. Festa, I think, will be a solid pitcher. But I remember in Jose Barrios' first year, he got just bombed several times, where he didn't even make it out of the first inning. So I think Festa will be that guy eventually. But unfortunately, they just don't have other options right now. So it's so you hope you don't damage the guy's psyche too much just by keeping him out there and by just keep throwing him out there every 5 days. The theory, of course, is that the opener will take the tough lefties and make it increase the likelihood that he can make it through, that Festa can then make it through at least 5 innings, with minimal damage, and that's kind of a tough way to look at it.
If 8 runs is minimal damage, okay. John, you want to say something? We were talking if this team could hold in this last month, till end of June with these good teams at 500 ball, we'd be okay. They're 1-9 in their last 10. They've been swept out. I could go back and count. We're now in second to last place in the Central. Your thoughts, John? I know it's bothering you, Dan, but we got to be honest, John.
Can I say suck on the air? They suck.
Oh yeah, they suck. And that's just a good term.
And it's not just. I mean, I understand the pitching challenges. I do, because we got a couple guys down. But when you see the hitters not hitting, and when you see some of the defensive misplays, stuff that should be pretty basic that high school guys are doing routinely, you're like, what is in these guys' heads? It's almost like when Pablo went down, they thought, oh, okay, we all have to tighten up here, and we really got to hit and be productive to make up the loss, and we're just going to pound the other teams, and maybe they're forcing it. So they're trying too hard. I don't know.
You're Dr. filling it too hard, John. Sometimes it's just
here, but
yeah. So what do we do? You're sitting.
I mean, the runs yesterday were great, right? I mean, Buxton is
one short of what you need.
The guy.
You're going to talk me right in. I'm going to have to leave this over until we get you back on Friday. Here's what I want you guys to do. We got a trade deadline coming up. Either you're buying or you're selling. The Minnesota Twins technically are selling themselves. So, I mean, the idea of how what do you sell? Bargain basement prices with nothing on the shelf. You go get something, say we're there, put some money into investment. I'll start with you, Dan. You buying or you selling right now today with a team that's spiraling?
I would be buying, but maybe kind of a hybrid approach. I think you have to be buying, but with a willingness to give up some of the maybe even major league level young talent. So
young talent. Get rid of Correa. Get rid of Buxton and get something for him. Pitching is what we need. John,
that ain't happening.
I knew that.
For him.
Just touching your buttons, John. I know that just even Dan's mad at me. Your thoughts, John? John, we selling, we buying? What are you doing?
Well, we should be buying, but I fear the Twins will follow typical practice and sign some, back end utility player, figuring a guy can fill in holes because we're so prone to injuries, and it'll take a scrap heap guy to sit on the bench, because they're trying to sell the team too, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And the funny thing is, there's enough talent there, even with the slump they've had in June, to still call them a wild card team. They can contend for it.
They are 3 games out. I'm not. Yes, and they're going through the heart of it here.
The head says you should buy to get a couple of pieces to keep that level and keep that pushing there. But the Twins have a history of not making any big moves midseason. They just don't.
This is another thing where we in Minnesota will accept we are the best of the worst and the worst of the best. When we play the hard team, we'll live with that. And then John, we got to the playoffs. Woohoo! Now we're out in round 1. We'll accept that in this town, and that's the problem, I think, with Minnesotans. We'll accept it.
We're number 5.
But see, they could
big phone hand.
Indiana Pacer like. Okay, there's always that chance that you could do like the Indiana Pacers, be a low seed and just sort of run.
All right, we are going to start the first foam 5 fingers. I love that, Dan. It's just a big hand with all 5 fingers. Weird number 5. We'll get these guys back in here on Friday. Appreciate you all. It's the guys at the end of the bench, John and Dan.
If it's your turn to host the